We're now going to cover how to read in files in different locations. So all of the files, well, actually just one file, the baseball.txt file, has been read in from the current working directory. So it's already instantly available right here. We don't have to dig through our file system, but it is possible to read in a file anywhere in your file system. You can give it a relative path or absolute path. I'm going to start with a relative path, and I'll explain the difference between these in a second. But first, I want to go back to the Jupyter Notebook file system view. So everything you see here is in the current working directory. We can read in each of these files in, just with their name. And what we're going to do now is go into the Shakespeare folder and read in one of these sonnets. So a sonnet is just a poem that Shakespeare has written, and these are just 20 of them. So let me go back over here and then back to our notebook. So the way to do this, we're just going to use the context manager again with open. We're going to start typing in the folder name this time, not the file name. So we're going to go into the Shakespeare folder, and then we'll just choose one of the sonnets, say the first one, as F, and then we'll just read in the entire sonnet and print it out to the screen like this. So I gave it a relative path. So it's relative to the current working directory. So I'm just saying, hey, look into Shakespeare, and the slash says, all right, go to the next folder, then use sonnet1.txt. That's really the file that we are looking for. Now, you can also use an absolute path. So absolute means from the very beginning of your file system. You rarely do this, but it is possible. So you can start at the very beginning. You have to kind of know your file system. I'm not going to cover that now, but whenever you see something that begins with a slash, see how this does not begin with a slash? This is now an absolute path. So this means from the very beginning of your file system, from the root folder, you can navigate through your file system to find it. So, for most people, your file should look something like this if you set up the course like I did. So there, for Macs anyways, there's a users folder, the username, the particular user. So that's me, Teddy. Then I said to put the Dunder Data courses in there. And then actually I'm missing one. This is supposed to be Python fundamentals / module 18 files / Shakespeare / sonnet1.txt. So this is the absolute path. You can see it goes from one folder to the next, to the next, to the next. Finally, it reaches the area where all of Shakespeare sonnets reside, and it is over there. So you can give this absolute path over here. So you can replace this with the absolute path, and it still should work. But really, you should only use the absolute path if you have to. Otherwise, you should just use the relative path to the current working directory. All right, so that's how you can read in files in different locations.